Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We're hitting you live at episode number 39 here on May 29th, late this Sunday evening. I'm here joined by my super co host, as always, leveling it up. How are you doing today, Sebastian?
I'm doing great. What about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you. And to everybody else, welcome and bienvenue to the Stadia Party Chat podcast, a cloud gaming talk show where we, as two Canadians, host a chat about everything Google Stadia in the past week and the latest on Bungie's Destiny 2. So, what are we here about today? Well, we got some TWAB news. We got some basic Stadia news. They announced 3 new games this week. And yeah, we'll keep it short and concise. There's a new season, so we got a lot to talk about there. Why don't we jump into what we were playing? For me, I know I was just playing the City Skylines and then the new season of Destiny 2. So that's been keeping me busy. New place to explore, hashtag old place to explore. But there's a lot of cool new guns happening. There's some extra room in your vault. So a lot of cool stuff happening this season. How about
Yes,
yourself? What have
definitely.
you been up to?
Well, it's same as you. I played basically Destiny 2 because we had the new season, and I also played some Skyline City, which was recommended by you, and I freaking love it. Before we move into Destiny 2, let's talk a little bit about Skyline City. What
Oh yeah,
a
let's.
great game to release for this month, because really, like, there's not that many now. Like, and with the announcement of June, I feel like we should have more. But yeah, City Skyline is like it's an old game from my understanding, and it's it's similar to RTS where you have to build like your city and stuff like that, right? And I just went with basic at first. I didn't know what I was choosing because you got the different place where it give you more resource, less resource, and that's what I went with. And I'm very very square on my like the way I lay out. I create my residence like in one section. I create my industrial in one section, and then like the commerce. So I was doing that like this because in previous game like that, if you put your industrial close to residence, like they say, oh, it's too loud or like it's too polluted and stuff like that. So it was just
Yeah.
I was just like fooling around making street. I played for about an hour and it gave me like a good idea how to play it. But what about you? Tell me more about it because I think you have more time on it.
I have too much more time on it. So, as Primo pointed out, there are free add-ons if you sign up. I think you have to. I signed up for a Paradox account. It was just like a free account, and then you link it to your city skyline, and then it's like 2 DLC packs that you get with the Stadia Pro. So that's a cool little add-on thing that you can do. I can't remember specifically what the add-ons are, to be honest. But oh my gosh, have you seen how many add-ons there are for this game?
Yeah,
This is the most amount I've ever seen DLC
it's
be like.
crazy the amount of
Oh
that.
my
Yeah,
gosh, the amount of stuff.
and we
And
saying it was quite expensive to buy them all, right?
oh my god, Canadian, you're looking at $323 to have the full city skyline experience.
Holy. Okay.
Yeah. And you
So
said it was Ubisoft, right?
I thought it was with Ubisoft or Ubisoft released
Oh.
it. Maybe they're the publisher, right? I
But
could
yeah,
be wrong.
it's
I need to look it up.
I was very eager to get started, so I just went in just like you did, building roads and like doing residents, making sure my power was working, but all of a sudden I was just having like a point where I just had dead bodies like everywhere. Like I would just have skull and crossbones, people getting sick and stuff, and I'm like, what is happening? How is this happening? I couldn't like reach past the peak of like 5,000 population without everything going terrible. So I did research. Like I was like, I need to master this. So I go in. look on YouTube. I figure out how to properly manage growth and where to put the buildings, how you should stack your commercial buildings closest to your major highway, have intersection. A smart idea, which I actually learned from PEI, is Prince Edward Island, is to have a toll booth leaving your city. So everybody who leaves has to pay. And just like building all of these intricate things, like having your industry, you obviously need to have your industry in one area because there's so much pollution. Because you can't, they give you 70,000 and you can't like realistically generate the green energy. But my issue now is I'm at 20,000 population. I've hit like big city, and I have an issue eating. Like people are just like they're dying again, and like I can't manage that, and like I have to watch a video because I feel like there's like these little humps you have to get over.
Oh,
And the
maybe.
worst part is my coal plants like ran out of coal, so I have to like figure
Get
out
rid of it.
how to get more coal. I don't
Mhm.
know, so it's like
Maybe you need to find a new source of energy or something. Just
exactly.
my mistake. The publisher is Paradox Interactive, and it's
Yeah,
developed
paradox.
by Tantalus Media. But yeah, like you were saying, all the add-ons. If you go onto Stadia and you want to get the City Skyline collection, that's including everything. It's $329.99 Canadian. Not cheap, but like
No.
I can see all the stuff you're getting with.
A
But
lot of it
yeah.
is radio stations. So like if you are interested in some DLC, like I would just pick and choose what you want. Because that's probably a lot more value for you.
Exactly.
I mean, unless you really like the different music. I mean, you can just put on your own YouTube music if you want to. Like, it's not like.
Yeah, I noticed that you can go on your radio station and then like just like change the station. I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some bundle I include like some vehicle, like you said, a radio station, some location, I'm guessing, some station pack. Yeah, it's like a mix of different things. They're all about between $5 to $10.
So what's very impressive about this game, one, you were saying that it was a Windows port, one of the first times they're porting a Windows game, and the amount of simulation that's happening, and like zooming in and then zooming out, and like seeing the cars, individual things happening, like the amount of like energy it's taking to process all of that, and it's doing it flawlessly. I'm not seeing skips or anything like that. It's just running flawlessly for me.
Yeah,
So
same
I'm
here.
very impressed with how the game is working.
Yeah, I didn't see like any issue. Like the game was running like very good, like very well, no issues. And like you said, like when you zoom in, zoom out, usually in those type of game, if you play on PC or even a console, you'll notice like it will like take a while to process, seeing the vehicle popping up or even like people or anything like that, any of the activities. So the fact that you can zoom out and zoom in like very quickly and you don't see the difference, there's no like nothing being affected, is quite amazing. So I was pretty impressed with like how the game run. So yeah, that's good.
And
Okay.
if you're achievement hunting and you want a little easy one to get, you go to your information. Like you know how you have your city information tab, and you just click each one and view them all in order. Like you just view the next one, and it'll give you a little achievement.
Oh really? I didn't
Yeah,
get that one maybe.
I got that by accident, but
I was looking through all this information and get you into so many detail, and I found like the way they made it so like as soon you achieve a certain amount of population, you get access to like more stuff or new thing, and I'm like it's slowly progressing your city. I found it's less overwhelming than like giving you everything. So it's like a good way, because as soon as the tax came, I was like, oh, okay, I'm increasing the tax. I need some money so I can
Yeah.
build an hospital and I can build a school, So it was like some of the thing I needed to do. So yeah. But no, a great game. Happy that it came to Stadia. I can't wait to see more game coming to Stadia. If this one was like a proof of concept that their porting tool, the Google porting tool, was like functional for Stadia, then maybe it's gonna help like getting other publishers to submit their game through Stadia with that porting tool. So, and hopefully over time, it's gonna make things easier for anybody to like want to port their game. I think we were talking about that. It's like when they had the event and they were explaining that the way they were talking about is that if someone port a type of file, it will automatically like save it how you did it, basically. So like in the future you can reuse it. It's gonna be quicker. So I think that's the idea, is to make it a little bit intelligent, or like make it easier on the developer to do it. So hopefully we see more detail on that soon, because like I can't wait to see Stadia catching up on all the release of games they're supposed to get at too. So because I think they're behind on their numbers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the games they're releasing, I mean, ooh, I mean, this week was a week to sleep through.
Yeah.
To
So that's
say
why
the
we
least.
jump into Destiny, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what's popping off at the hip is the new fire embraced season of ever giving nightmares. The Leviathan has returned, more haunted than ever.
Exactly.
Callus has taken his first taste of darkness and he likes it. So let's jump into some TWAB, maybe.
Yes. Let's jump into the TWAB. So here we go. Yeah. So Season of the Undead. I felt weird about it just because that in this season would have been perfect during the October time frame, because it's kind of like spooky and stuff like that. And I like playing the first mission and you're walking around, like you hear all those little sound around you. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, I really like that. That was very good. Let's see here. So all right, so Season of the Undead. So this week at Bungie, so they basically have a lot of community event happening, not community event, but like donation happening. So they have with like what happened in Texas recently. They like offering like two group, I guess, like that will offer like mental health support. And it's the National Alliance for Mental Illness and also the Judd Foundation Protect. So there's like some link there. You can access them if you've been affected to the shooting in Texas. It's great to see like Bungie doing all those things, because it's like pretty cool that like they just show they care about us and care about the community, right? So moving on. So this week at Bungie, they're just like doing an overview. There's the season of the hype. Actually the season of Haunted, because everybody's so hype about it. There's a nice little trailer here. I think no, this one's the developer insight. This one is the trailer. The developers inside, they like talk a little bit about how they created a different activity and how they decide to move towards that direction, if that makes sense. And talking about Solar 3.0, which is a big thing. So happy to see that. I've been loving it, but worth watching. Just have a look. They just had like they play tested during a Crucible match between each other, and they like talking about how much they love it, the comparison between the different subclass. So moving on, I'm just gonna skip through some of the stuff, but like just talking about the season of the Undead overall, what we have happening this season is that Leviathan, like Rudig said, is back, but currently it's corrupted, and then like now you have to choose between the Castellium or the containment activity. If you read the detail, the Castellium, it's more to roam around, explore the Leviathan, just like remnants on like the past, basically when we're doing the raid there. And the containment activity is just like in case if you want to do only that, like doing the public event, basically. I felt like going into it, it's like almost like a new area because then you can get patrols and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting how they brought it up. Um, excuse me, but like pretty fun to play. I think like it gave you a chance to explore a little bit more the Leviathan, and there's a lot of secret roaming around, like finding the Catalyst Bubble ad and finding those specific nightmare to complete your triumph. And yeah, that's good. And with that, we have the severe weekly mission, which is going to be every week. It's going to be progressing a bit like last season, all previous season. The story is going to progress every week. You have that mission that's like giving you every step. Basically, I think there's 52 steps, but like yeah, it's stop after you complete that step for the week. So quite interesting. Yeah, and then there's more weapon to craft now, so you got the new weapon of the season, but also they brought back the upland weapon, which is crazy. Ostriger and the what's the sniper everybody used to have like for
Beloved.
PvP. Beloved, yeah, that it's crazy. They brought back those weapon. Quite excited about it. So far, I got a couple of stringer, but like I'm looking for the red border so I can craft it eventually.
Yeah.
And also new set of armor, and as you can see, the ornament you can buy on the store, as you can see in the background there. That's a great ornament. I freaking love it. That was worth all the money. I went, and even though you get it with bright dust over the season, I just went and bought it. That they did a great job with this ornament, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for that. I think that's the first time I spent some silver, but
It
like
is.
it
It
is
is.
worth
You
it.
always wait it out. You
Mhm.
always hoard the bright dust, and then you're like, "See, I got it." Ha ha ha. And I'm like, "Damn, you did. You did." But this
But
time you acted fast.
yeah, this time it's worth it. And look how nice it is, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a Titan main, and I freaking love it. Um, moving on. So yeah, we talk about the armor. So what we have happening this season? Well, guess what? We have the new dungeon that came out on Friday, which was pretty interesting. What's the name of the dungeon again? Duelist. So the Duelist dungeon, it's giving you a little bit of insight about what's with Callus, what's happening with Callus, I guess. So if you jump into the dungeon, you'll notice you going to that area where you were storing all your trophies during the first
Oh,
year.
really? I
Yeah,
didn't
what's
notice
the
that. You're in the trophy room.
yeah,
That
I'm trying to
area.
remember the name of it. But yeah, you're in that trophy room, and in the center there's like the big statue of Callus, and then you
Right.
enter, I don't know, the underground or whatever. Like, so you end up in the nightmare, and you split between the two area, the nightmare and the other. I guess it's like a dream zone or something. Because I feel like the the dungeon, it's like almost you entering the mind of Callus. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it was like pretty interesting to see that because then you get collect some memory on the way. So those are memory of Callus, and those are collectible part of a triumph. And the dungeon is actually quite fun. Like I like the mechanic of it. The fact that you can just you switch between the two world, and then you got those bell. You have to kill the bell keeper to be able to shoot at them, and you have a time frame to do so. Yeah, no, I really like it. And then when you figure out how to kill the boss, it's like quite easy. I think
Oh,
at
it is?
first
Yeah.
we're struggling, but
Big
then when
time.
you figure it out, yeah, when you figure it out, it's like when you transfer into that nightmare world and it's ready to do damage to him, you need like all three people need to split up into the three different bell and kill those two bell keeper right away. So then after this, you can shoot the bell he's coming at, and then that's gonna
Ah,
stun him, and then you do damage. So
okay.
quite interesting. But yeah, the dungeon is fun, and the good thing about the triumph for that dungeon, as you complete triumph, then you get access to have a higher rate of drop for that exotic sword. I try to remember the name of the exotic sword, but like yeah, you get a higher rate to get the sword. So like
Is it stasis? I didn't know it was an exotic sword.
yeah, it's an exotic sword. Try to remember the name of it, but yeah, pretty nice sword too. If I don't know if you can pull it up, but like
Yeah, I'll try and do it. That it's a Cabal sword, though. Interesting.
is it?
I don't know. I assume because you find it in the Leviathan.
Yeah, probably.
Exotic sword. Season 7.
Let's do a list or something. Yeah. I'm trying to look for it too.
No worries. I'll look for it. You continue on the tour.
There you go. So basically, the duelist sword, not the duelist sword. What's the name? The Heart Shadow Duality. That's the name of the sword. I don't know what kind of a sword it is, but yeah, quite interesting that yeah, we have an exotic sword, another exotic sword. So I can't wait to like farm for it, and some of the weapons into that dungeon are freaking good. So I can't wait to craft them because I think you can craft them. I want to see you can, but we'll see. I haven't had a chance to get a red border one yet. That being said, moving on to Solar 3.0.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Let me interject for 2 seconds
Yeah,
here.
yeah, sounds good.
The Hard Shadow Sword. Heavy attacks made with full sword energy turn you invisible and fire exploding void projectiles.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
quite
pretty
interesting.
nice. Pretty nice little perk.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Huh. Um, just moving back on to the TWAB. This is some of the armor set. This is the ornament you get from this season. Great ornament. I freaking love it with those skulls. Apparently, when you change the color, the shader, that the skull appear differently, and it gives some good look. So I'm quite excited. I don't know about this one, but yeah, sure. But very excited about the ornament. And this is like some of the other item you can get throughout the season. And there's a trespasser, which is a good it's a good sidearm, because when you get one kill you reload it, and every shot you take, if you get a kill, you get that burst, and then it's just like you can keep going forever, and the damage on it is crazy. So I've seen people using it in Crucible. So if you get your first kill with it and then you reload, you can just keep going and keep
Yeah, I
going
noticed
and
that.
destroy everybody with it.
The Trespasser, yeah.
Yeah, I play around with it a lot, and it's quite fun to play with. Still working on getting the catalyst, which I don't know what it does exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing one of the steps too. I think it's just like kills and Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard right now for me.
It takes forever. I think I'm past 100, but like yeah, 100 out of 200, but it takes a while. All right, moving on to Solar 3.0. So that's the one we really like. So the change they made for the solar, like with the fragment and augment, it's just like crazy. Like now the Titan, as you can see, you see the different ornament in the background. The Titan, the build I have now, like you just don't die. I wonder if they're gonna nerf it, but like so far, like I freaking love it. I feel like in the past, the only way to survive as a solo Titan was with the bubble, but even there was not proper. And then like when they came out with Void 3.0, it made it a little bit better. But now Solar 3.0 make it even better. I feel like the Solar subclass is mostly for restoration, and you get the Scorching and Ignition, which is crazy. I really I like the Warlock, like the clapping if snapping your finger and you get those scorching ball going at enemy. It's pretty amazing. I haven't played with the Hunter yet, but I'm guessing like the throwing knife might be on top there. Was it with I think it was with Bliss I was playing, and he got killed by a throwing knife that didn't hit him. It was stuck on the ground and exploded and he got killed.
Oh.
So maybe they might be OP, or it might be just the way they are now, which is it's quite interesting. But yeah, he can do a lot. They have a lot of new uh a new fragment you can get, and some of them they will be unlocked after the above community effort. So what's that?
Oh wow, so
I
we're all
missed
in it
that.
together for
Yeah.
this?
So there's 4 lock fragment, and then so
Oh.
it's gonna be a community-driven initiative.
Yeah, to be honest, I felt like my Warlock was. I maybe need to look up some builds, but I
Mhm.
feel like it needs more power.
Yeah, I think like there's gonna be like a lot of nice build. I found one online for the Warlock, and it's mainly like you scorching everything. And funny enough, the build goes with the what's the name of the Warlock Gloves? The am I gonna say it? Oh, I don't remember. What's the glove that you can throw a grenade infinitely? Sunbracer. There we go. So with the Sunbracer, as soon you like use a melee, get a melee kill, then you can throw your grenade infinite, and you have that setup where like if you get killed in the air, you get increased radiant, and then you get your melee back, so you can do infinite like melee and then grenade throwing. It's like a little bit OP, but I love it. There's like a few good one. I'm pretty sure someone came out with a Hunter one, which I'm quite interested to see how it's gonna be. But yeah, uh, I'm quite happy with Solar 3.0. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with Arc 3.0. But yeah, so far I'm quite impressed with the upgraded version of the subclass. I don't know about you, but yeah.
I'm very excited for Solar. I always loved Solar, and now I just honestly feel bad for Arc. So
Yeah.
it's just Arc stay in the rain.
The only reason I will use Arc would be for using Thunder Crash. That's pretty much it now.
Yeah.
There's no point until next season. Hopefully next season they're gonna have Arc 3.0, and it's gonna be as great as Solar and Void. I tell you the truth, it's just crazy. The upgrade they made, like it's at the point where like stasis is not even that great anymore. I don't know. I think they did a great job with stasis, and now they sorted out. And I found Void and Solar didn't make it too OP to the point where like they have to change it. They made it like just perfect, right? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna do some change at a later date, but so far it looks great. All right, moving on. What's coming up? So we have Iron Banner coming back, I think this Tuesday, right? May 31st.
So no trials.
No trials. So the big thing coming up is that they're talking about Valus Forge competitive, which I'm not exactly sure what it is. But Iron Banner is coming out with like a new version called the Riff.
First of the season, right?
Yeah, first of the all time, because like I think the Rift was like a game type onto Destiny 1. So I think if I try to remember, the idea was to you had to capture some sort of item and deposit it into your area. So it's like almost like a way to score system. So it made me think a little bit of oddball or like a capture the flag type of thing, which is going to be interesting. And also they have a new map, so called the Disjunction. I think that's the Tron World new map. I don't know if you try it yet, but I've played survival the other day or yesterday, and then we were able to play on that map, which is quite interesting. There's already some bugs in that map. People find a way to go behind the wall and climb in certain area to observe some certain location to kill everyone. So yeah, stay just watch out, like look up from time to time, because some people's gonna be hiding in the ceiling or something. But yeah, Iron Banner coming back. That's gonna be great. I'm quite happy about that. I can't wait to see the change they're gonna do. I think like they changed the way of the bounty system and the mission. So I think it's not gonna be bounty system. It's gonna be like
The
leveling up.
rank?
Yeah, the ranking.
Yeah.
They're probably
We'll
gonna
see.
still have bounties, but maybe I don't know.
No
I'll have
bounties.
to see. Yeah.
End of bounties, please.
Well, they're slowly removing them, right? So.
Yes.
And yeah, so the Rift, I'm quite interested to play that. Um, Moving on, so more donations. So if you want to help Bungie and donate for the GCX stream for the St. Jude Hospital, you can get some nice emblem. I really like this one. It's very colorful, but yeah. You can donate up to, I think one of them is $20 and $60 you get the fancy emblem. So cool.
Nice.
And then there's some hotfix coming up for sure, and with the Iron Banner coming up, so that's for sure. There's like a few issues that they're aware of, as you can see. There's a bunch of issues basically, but yeah, I noticed like some other issues while playing into where was that? It's when we're loading to the tower. If I load to the main area, it's gonna give me a black screen, and if I load into the Gambit area, then I can load in. But the other day I did that, then I went to the main area, and then it didn't load me in, but I was able to see everybody. Like, you know, when you're dead and you can see your party's like camera and stuff. It was like that, which was weird, but anyway. So they
Yeah,
have a
glitch.
bunch of issue, like as like they update, like there's gonna be a bunch of issues. So hopefully they're gonna fix it fairly soon. And if you still have some issue, make sure you comment onto the Bungie forum. Let them know about your issues.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to add before moving on. So other interesting stuff is that they added the rotation, the raid rotation, I guess. So the Last Wish raid and the Shadow Throne now have Pinnacle gear, so you can farm those two for Pinnacle, which I'm quite happy. It's just gonna force people a little bit to do the old raid if you haven't done it in a long time, and hopefully we get like new weapon with new traits on them. You know, if you do the Last Wish, hopefully they have some trait attached to it.
Oh
Who
yeah.
knows? Yeah.
I'd like to see an update to like the Tiger Spite.
Mm-hmm.
That was
So I'm
always a
not
gun I really
exactly
liked.
sure. Tiger Spy, is that the auto rifle, right?
Oh yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can see that. I'll be quite happy to see if they change any of that. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, go ahead and farm for your pinnacle so you can get up to, was it 1570 now? So yeah. And other than that, there's some video if you like some music made of sound and of Destiny. Quite interesting video. Here we got Last Wish, basically the Last Wish raid remade in Minecraft, which is quite interesting.
What?
Yeah.
No, there's no way they did that.
It's not this one. I need to almost reload it because it's not giving me that. Yeah. It's not giving me the right one. It's giving me the trailer.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That is the trailer. It says Season of the Haunted trailer, right?
I know. It's just like the screen needed to reload.
There
There we
Oh,
go.
there it is. There it is.
There you go. So yeah, the person created Last Wish, but like in
What?
Minecraft. Look how much work it must be. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, exactly. So that's crazy. Yeah.
This is mine. No, this is Destiny 2,
No,
right
this
here.
is Destiny 2, but just
Yeah.
wait. And you change it to Minecraft. There's a Minecraft version.
Wow.
A lot of work put into that, I think. Quite interesting. I know, like, it
My
cannot be like
god.
perfect, like it is, like, but it's square, right? But crazy that he did all this.
Yeah. You know,
uh,
it's just like each encounter is a little project. That's wicked. That's a nice little creation.
I tuned a Poltassi into a Destiny emote. Oh, what's that all about? praise the sword. Oh my god. It's a praise the sword because Paul Tassi took forever to get the other half, I think, was the blade. And he finally got it, but he was praising the sword. Oh, that's funny. And some nice drawing there. Look at that. Quite interesting. Oh, look. Some news here. So check out those two emblem. Where did you get them? Ah, okay. Movie of the week. So if you do art of the week and movie of the week, you can get those nice emblem. There we go. And that's pretty much it. Can I pet
That's
that
it for
dog? Yeah.
Destiny this week.
Yeah, quite interesting. Here we go, some trophy for the Guardian game.
Was it Warlock's one, right?
Yeah, Warlock's one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it for this week. Crazy. I like the new season so far. I really like the change it did, and I cannot stop playing with Solar now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the new Void for this season, and then Arc next season.
yeah,
I mean, it will be cool. Will be cool.
exactly.
Well, since we're done with Destiny, what do we have next, people? We have all right, we have the news this week coming out of Stadia. So we have the TWAB sharing with us 3 new games. So why don't we talk about what games are coming up? I have the Stadia blog here with us. We have Through the Darkest of Times, a historical resistance strategy game. So this first one, let's take a look. Gives me some, basic indie vibes. I got a little bit of intrigue. It could be very interesting. Some of these RTS games can be a lot of fun. I mean, look at City Skylines. You can get sucked into that for a while. But we have yet to see too much from it. These guys did come out with El Hijo, a West Tale, and Chicken Police, which is so out of those 2 games. I've actually never played El Hijo. Have you played that? I know it's been on our Stadia list for like ever.
No,
would say
I
it
don't.
came
I don't remember playing that game.
to Pro very early on.
That's quite possible. There's so many games I still haven't played on Stadia, so.
Yeah.
I think you say you play Chicken Police and you really like it. It's kind of
Yeah, well,
interesting
yeah, my
take,
wife
right?
and I are just like going through it, we'll take on like one little area at first, and then we'll go through the next little bit, and it's all voice narrated, so it's kind of like an interactive show that you're watching. So a lot of cool stuff there. But yeah, we'll see what comes from them next. And I really need to get into El Hijo. I heard very briefly that it's a game about like not attacking and just being strategic and like running away, hiding, ducking, and like very stealthy. So it kind of turned me away from El Hijo. But maybe I should give it a little try. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we got sucked in. Those Who Remain, from Wired Production. So Wired Production is showing a lot of love. It's coming out with a lot of games. This one looks pretty interesting as well, like a sci-fi look at I guess the point and click genre again is what we're going with. So you'll investigate what looks to be like a haunted house, poltergeist situations, unique atmospheric horror. So good to have in 4K. Hopefully we get that in 4K. It's always like a next level of immersion when you have that great audio and you have that good visuals.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like quite interesting. I'm not exactly sure what kind of game it's like. Is it like you have to search for clues and moving on to the next area type of thing? I feel like it's a story-driven one.
Yeah. So that's what it's like, a narrative click and point kind
Mhm.
of game to me. Although I could be surprised by it. But yeah, I mean, everything about all of these little trailers. I mean, I can click on this. Let's see what happens here.
Rated M from a
So we have the dark streets in a sleepy town, sort of black and white noir. Oh, look, you're kind of running first person there.
Yeah. So it's
No,
a
it'd be good
first
if you had
person
that
throughout.
element, but that kind of gives me the feel of like we're still watching like the movie part of it.
Yeah. It looks like more towards horror and spooky. Oh yeah, look at that. He's running, there's something
Yeah.
chasing him. That's awesome.
So, I mean, that doesn't really tell me all too much about it about the gameplay, but yeah, I guess we'll see when it comes to Stadia. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there streaming. Now, this is the one that gave me the most excitement, I will say, when I saw it coming. The other two, you know, they're for a different set of gamers. They're for maybe even better for like your mobile phone. I really hope that it comes with like the touch and play, the gestures and all of that. That would be really great. But Switch Force, this is more up my alley. You're fun, you're platforming. These little puzzles, you know, they can really get to me. Kind of reminds me of like how much fun I had when I got sucked into Celeste. Have you seen what Switch Force looks like?
Yeah, it looks quite interesting. It made me think of a bit of what's the name of it? Mega Man.
Yeah,
It made me
yeah.
think of. Well, it looks fun.
Yeah, I
It's
loved
a
those
platformer.
games, the Mega
Yeah.
Man games back in the day on the Sega Genesis. And what's
Yeah.
interesting is I'm seeing Stadia do this now. This is the second game maybe I've seen them do this with, where they have this like extra screen. You see this, how they're doing that? And they did
Yes.
it in Shanti's Revenge.
Because it's a remake, basically.
Yeah, it's like a retro game that they're bringing back.
Okay.
I just don't quite understand. It to me, it kind of takes away from the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
If this is how they're going to present it, like the Shanti's Revenge, but we'll see what they do with it.
Exactly. Like looks quite interesting. I think you got a multiplayer gameplay, as you can see, there up to 4 players, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Switch Force.
that was a nice little announcement. I mean, it's better than you know, where we hear nothing for a week. So
Yeah, exactly.
there's some excitement for me, at least, in Switch Force personally. But yeah, we'll see what comes through the grapevine.
There should be some other game coming up. Like I know there's like in the previous week we talked about like that that little game looked like Into the Gungeon, similar to that with all so that game's gonna come up, but I don't think it's gonna be pro. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll have to see.
It's free to play though.
Yeah, it's free to play. So yeah. I think it's coming with pro. That's gonna be good, right? So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Now, what do we got next on the bucket? Well, I mean, to be honest, there is not the most amount of Stadia news this week. So we have Dawn of the Monsters has some free-to-play games. I want to give a shout out to the Toronto studio who put out that game, 13 a.m. Really great game, lots of fun. I'm making my way through it slowly but surely. I'm on the third world now, just having like a ton of fun. So if you haven't got into it now, it's great. There's a lot of awesome combat. You got your counters, you got overwhelmed. If you're going solo, the only other option is couch co-op, because Naz and I tried to link up. I mean, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they don't have that ability. Hopefully, they add that. That'd be like super awesome to get that multiplayer
Online
over the internet. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I also like being the monster, like the sea monster Ganaria, because you can always spawn that that oyster shell guy, and then he takes a lot of the aggro. So you're able to like sub him in and get all of the ads and stuff attacking that shell while you come up behind, launch a heavy attack. Yeah, there's a lot of great combinations, and you got 3 different power ups that you can mix and match, so you can really raise the skills and damage that you're putting out there. A lot of awesome stuff in that. If it's on your backlog, I would definitely bring it up. It's great. It's a great game. And 13 a.m. I wish you all the best with that title.
It's
Keep putting out
Canadian.
titles. Canadian
Yeah.
and from Toronto. Like it's just like 2 loves right there. That's
Yeah.
awesome to hear. So free to play. If you're not pro, check it out. It's awesome.
Mhm. Definitely.
Now, yes, I see you're adding this, but that seems scary to me. I saw it coming through on the chat.
Mhm.
Breakpoint is having some save issues.
Yeah, so I think there was an update recently, and so on Stadia, the all your save point are like gone or something. I haven't played Breakpoint in a long time, but I think Google is working into it. From what I can see, is that a lot of work is being put there. I don't know what happened exactly. If it's only on Stadia, from the look of it, it's only on Stadia, but I can see it's gonna come back eventually. So. It sucks, but yeah, it's probably an issue with maybe a recent update, or maybe they did something at their end. Who knows, right? But I think like the game is cross save also. I'm not sure. I will have to check, but like if it's cross save, it could be an issue between platform also. But like from the look of it, it's only on Stadia right now. But they're working on it. They're gonna come and fix it, and hopefully get it all back. Or you're gonna have to restart from the beginning.
Hey, Breakpoint's never too bad. I mean, like that's not the worst thing, right? You just got to replay it. If you're playing Breakpoint now and you got to replay the game, it'll be.
And that's the
Good
thing with
experience.
all the new update, you're gonna have to catch up to the story, or like where you're at. There's like a lot of season that went through a lot of updates. So yeah, it's same as Outrider, right? They came out with a new expansion. If we go back into it, we're gonna have to like, oh, how do we play again? You know, so you always have that skill, that switch you need to do, right? And we're like,
Yeah, the
yeah, I'm like,
mental switch.
oh yeah, I'm not playing Destiny, or I'm not playing this game, so I'm playing this game, so I have to remember where my buttons are, right? So I always felt like that for me.
Yeah, I do hope that, and to be honest, I would probably suspect it's on Ubisoft. So yeah, I really hope, and I mean, to be honest, like I wouldn't get my hopes way up there, because isn't Breakpoint the game that they dropped support for? They said they're not releasing any more DLC, and they're just
I
gonna repeat seasons from like season 5, something like that.
I think I remember we talked about this before. Yeah. So yeah, so Breakpoint. Well, from first of all, they had a bad release when it came out, and afterwards, they like tried to rebuild it and make it better. I played it since the beginning, and it was great. I didn't have any difficulty. I think I played on PC at first. Eventually, it came to Stadia, so I bought it on Stadia. But yeah, I think like. Usually Ubisoft does that, right? They gonna come up with a game, they're gonna like work on it for about a year and stop and start coming out with the next Ghost Recon, right? So they're probably
Yeah.
working on the next one. I know they
Yeah,
were doing the
that's
same thing with Assassin's Creed, but now with Valhalla, they're looking at like keeping Valhalla going for another year or two. So we'll see.
yeah, it's a long-term relationship. A lot of, and I mean, I popped back into Valhalla. Like the story is wicked, like very detailed. The bosses are like larger than life. Like there's a lot of immersive elements for it.
Mhm.
But
You
yeah, I
got some
mean,
good actor in that too playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really, it's a great production from Ubisoft, and And yeah, I mean, we'll end up seeing some more great stuff from the Assassin's Creed Valhalla series, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Here is my last game on the news here. Stadia Source did a interview with Carson Kelly Games. So we did get that Catico game. I don't know if you remember on Stadia. I don't know if it's out right now or they just did like an announcement on it, but it's like all about cats, basically.
Oh, and now there's dogs?
Now we have dogs. So if you are interested, pop on over to Stadia Source and give the interview a read through. What I found super interesting is Dogs is coming to Stadia on Unreal Engine 5. So,
Ooh.
I mean, that's going to be some realistic looking dogs. I mean, for a dog, like, I assume you just like, it's like Tamagotchi, but for a dog is what
Oh,
my thinking this game is going to be
I
like.
think I remember we talked about this before. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's so funny.
Well, they're breaking in. They're doing they're making all sorts of different genres are coming to Stadia. That's for sure.
So I think that's gonna be a good test to verify if the blades can support Unreal Engine 5, really, because is that the most recent engine they have, and it's like I don't know if you watch those video online of like Legend of Zelda and Unreal Engine 5. Like the graphics are amazing.
Yeah.
Can do so much out of it, right?
Yeah.
So if like it runs well, that's gonna show like a developer that like any other game now with the porting tool, and like if they are running an Unreal Engine or anything like that, they can transfer it easily and it can play well. So I like all those little things. They might seem small for now, but like in a later date, you'll see like it's creating almost an effect, right? So it's just putting in place all to show like, you know, cloud gaming nowadays is like the new thing, right? If you look at Xbox, what they're doing with Game Pass and making everything accessible via the cloud. Now I think they're really seeing all their controllers so you can play on your phone and stuff like that, which is amazing. They're heading the right direction. But I think Google had their had the infrastructure in place right now. You can see Xbox still struggling with their cloud gaming. I think every time I try it, even if I open my Xbox app on my PC and play on my Xbox One upstairs, it's very pixelated and like playing on Stadia, it's not even like that. It's just crazy. So I think there's still work need to be done for those company where like Stadia has it all right already. So
Yeah, and I think what we saw from Stadia, which was the correct way to do a cloud gaming platform, where Xbox is kind of now disrupting what we see in game sales. As we were talking about before the show, Sniper Elite 5, right? We saw it hit number 1, and over 90% of the sales hard copy were PS5 because Xbox had given it to everybody on Game Pass. So there's now a disconnect when you're coming to purchasing games because now Game Pass is offering it to it. It's going to disrupt things, and disruption can be good sometimes, can be bad. But I feel like the way Stadia brought it to the masses, you can purchase the game or you can sign on with Pro. We're going to make it so the developers can really get a lot of money out of their games a lot of different ways, as well as play testing. I mean, 9 to 5, Baldur's Gate 3, they've done so much play testing on Stadia. It's ridiculous. I feel like there's a lot of great tools there. So
exactly. And then like I think
I look forward to it. And Unreal Engine 5, bring it on. I think Stadia's got it. I think we just need to see this platform, this sort of sales technique really take hold, and hopefully developers are more attracted to doing that than, you know, feeding into the Game Pass, which is kind of taking away from the developers. And I hope it doesn't take away from the quality of the games.
Exactly. And then I'm not exactly sure how the Game Pass is favoritism like for the developer that work for that, and like, you know, where like for Stadia, they already explained it. Like if someone play the game, then like that publisher or developer like get pay, right? I'm pretty sure they have a similar system for Game Pass. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but at the moment, if like the developer get hurt a lot with that sell like of the Sniper Elite 5 because it was on Game Pass, well maybe they need to modify their way of do things like similar to Stadia, right? At this point, so quite interesting. But I can't wait to see what's happening with for June. I can't wait for Stadia to just uh drop the
I
big
know
news,
what.
drop something massive, because I found the last couple of months been like, okay, they release like a couple of games there and there, but like there's nothing, there's nothing happening. I feel like they're revisiting, like seeing like where they're at, and maybe they're putting all this effort into the development tool and waiting for it to happen, right? So I don't
Oh well,
know.
we're getting a lot of chat on the development of how this may affect gamers and developers with Game Pass and physical sales versus your traditional sales of the box with the game in. And one thing I want to say is my heart sort of goes out to those people who are running their brick and mortar stores, who open these like GameStops up as like independents, who just like for the love of games want to get out there and interact with customers and build that community around. And I know Stadia doesn't necessarily contribute to that, but what Xbox is kind of doing is they're taking away from that. So to see all of those physical sales be gone like that is just kind of I mean, it must be shocking to the brick and mortars. But I love that Stadia is like developers first. We want to help them. Here's all of these incentives. I just hope that it like rings true and like these developers really make that movement, and Xbox's move of just buying everybody doesn't shut us out completely.
Yeah.
But for big shockers on June Pro games, do you
Yeah.
have any predictions? I have a prediction.
Like I'm just hoping the like I don't even know what's supposed to come up anymore. Like I know there's like a couple like game releasing on ESRB, but we haven't heard of it. You know, For Honor, like the thing with Ubisoft saying like, oh yeah, For Honor is on Stadia. Oh, sorry, it's our second time doing that mistake. It's like just release it. Like who knows? Maybe it's gonna come to Stadia. Like maybe it's gonna be the first pro game that Ubisoft's gonna give to Stadia because of their two fuck up, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
No,
I don't actually. I don't think any Ubisoft will ever join the Pro.
no. I
So
think
that's
they
my
just gonna
prediction.
yeah, they're gonna keep with their Ubisoft Plus. And yeah, we got the next Avatar coming out.
Yeah.
The game, I don't know if the game's gonna come out before the movie or vice versa, but I think it's gonna be a little while before we see it. But yeah, definitely a good point there, Primo.
My guess is now what I think will happen realistically. I hope they don't give us House of the Dead remake
Oh
as
yeah.
our major one, and then be like, oh, there's June. Would love to see is Dying Light 2. That would
Oh
just
yeah.
be like creme. Oh my gosh. I mean, we had a little announcement on their poster where they said, coming out for the Stadia platform, but nothing
And
after
then
that. So
they remove it though, right? But yeah, maybe they're gonna come like eventually. Maybe they were waiting on that porting tool. Now, if they see proof that the porting tool works well, maybe like even like the Stadia is gonna do the porting for them. Who knows?
and then the other game I was thinking may come out was I believe it's called Arc Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a game that I could definitely see coming out for Stadia. I mean, I know that they've shown them on their partners list, and it just seems like a great game that may definitely come out. I mean, a lot of fun stuff there. Free to play, cooperative third person shooter. Sounds right like, and with Stream Connect, that would be awesome, like Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in June. We do have the Death Run TV, which is going to be free to play, coming out day one. So
That's gonna
That'll
be
be
fun.
fun.
Hmm.
I'm sure we should definitely stream. I mean, it's a streaming game, so
Yeah, exactly. Christopher mentioned about X Defiant. Yes, that should come up soon because they've been doing a lot of beta on PC. I don't know what's happening. I know I received the invite, but I never replay it. But I know like it's coming up soon, and we also have Art. I want to say Heartland or something like that. The new Division
Heartland,
game.
yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if it's like available for beta just to test it out, but there's like a few games there. Definitely on the work. I don't think they can use COVID as an excuse to release release the game too late now. So they're hard working on it now, right?
Yeah. And then we got roller skate ball.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that.
roller ball skate. I'm just saying it all wrong.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the
Yeah, but
roller.
that should be coming out, I believe, in June. We got a bit later release than every other console, but yeah, Heartland. I know I forgot about that too. And then it's like, yeah, that should be coming. I think we heard about it last year, maybe
Mhm.
something, maybe even 2 years ago. We signed up for like the beta.
Yeah,
Roller Champion.
roller champion. There
Yeah.
we go. We're looking for
Oh.
the name. Yeah. What happened to that?
um yeah, but we'll see. Should we grab onto the clips before we head off for the night?
Yeah, sure do.
Do you have a clip ready? Should I go first?
No, go ahead first.
All right. All right. I found this good Destiny one. Okay. So took out the first guy, took out the
Oh.
second guy. Oh, but he's chasing me with the super. Whatever will I do? Boom, duality. Oh, took out all three of their team members. And then the other guy, Bliss has got my back right there. Thank you, Bliss.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A nice
I
little.
I don't have a clip, but I have a picture, which is
Oh, okay. Okay,
it's
cool.
quite
Cool.
good. So this one, I was playing doing just a strike just to do bounties in Destiny, and noticed this guy. His name is Blueberry Adept. I was like,
Haha.
this is pretty good. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's an
yeah.
awesome name.
It's funny because Bliss call like always like the third person, like a blueberry. Like if you play any PvP or anything like that, so it's always funny. Like I was like, but blueberries usually they wear blueberry armor, but this guy is not that blueberry. So
Yeah. It's a paradox.
yeah,
Well, if we're sharing captures, this is in honor of um, Dawn of the Monsters this week on free to play. So
nice.
that's just a wicked shot of the CN Tower being overtaken by a giant monster. Yeah, get into Dawn of Monsters. It's a pretty wicked game.
That's
Out of
awesome.
Toronto, and for every hour you play in the game, it helps the developer out directly on Stadia Pro. I mean,
Exactly.
how cool is that, knowing that while you're playing? All right, that is the news today.
Yes.
Do you have any more stories before I close us off?
No, just playing some Destiny. That's pretty much it. That's my stories.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning into the Stadia Party Chat podcast and listen to us two Canadians talk about the cloud this week. We're back next week. And is it at the same time? We will let you know on Twitter. May not be this late. This is a bit of a late night edition. I mean, busy lives for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll be back on here to deliver more Destiny 2 updates and talking Stadia news as always. If you missed the Canadian Stadians and you want more updates on us, add Rudigs. I'm always on Stadia, and same with NAD614. You can check out our gamer tags right there. Happy to help you guys in Destiny 2. I know Risk of Rain 2 we talked about last week too. Definitely want to get up on some DLC on that, and we'll be streaming the Death Run for sure when it comes out.
Exactly.
So for some extra support and love, be sure to hit up the channel, subscribe to our YouTube, Stadia Party Chat podcast, or find us anywhere on our social media at Chat Stadia. Posting games and streams all the time, just having fun on Stadia. And of course, this show would not be possible again without my awesome co-host, leveling up the podcast as always, Sebastian.
Yes.
So thanks again. And I want to make sure that I say thank you to our news sources, Stadia Source, and this week on Stadia, your blogs, as well as Bungie's TWAB. And remember, there's no rules for the architecture of a castle in the cloud. I don't know. I need to come up with a new cloud quote at the end.
That's awesome. All right. You guys take care. We'll see you guys soon.
All right.
Cheers.
All right.